At the beginning of the story, we are introduced to a Yeti who is trying to escape from a laboratory owned by Mr. Burnish. But Dr. Zara spots him, and soon all the guards start chasing after him. The Yeti uses his magical powers to unleash a powerful thunder attack, allowing him to break free and escape. As he runs through the city, he crashes into a truck and injures one of his arms. Hurt and exhausted, he climbs onto the roof of a large apartment building and hides behind some stored items. The story then shifts to Yi, the movie's main character. She lives in an apartment in the same building with her mother and her Nai, her grandmother. Even though it's summer vacation, Yi is incredibly busy and barely has any time to spend with her family. Every morning, she heads out to work different odd jobs. Sometimes she takes care of people's puppies, sometimes she babysits kids, and she even helps collect trash for extra money. Because of this non-stop routine, her life has become pretty dull. By the time she finishes working, Yi only has two close friends. One is Peng, who is a huge basketball fan, and the other is his cousin Jean, who is very popular on social media. But because of her busy schedule, Yi rarely has time for either of them. When she gets home, Nai invites her to sit down and have dinner with the family. Yi politely refuses and heads up to her room on the rooftop. You might wonder why someone so young feels the need to work so much when her mother is still there to support her. The answer can be found inside her room. A large board is covered with pictures of famous places around the world. Years ago, Yi's father passed away. He loved traveling and always dreamed of visiting those places with his daughter. Yi wants to fulfill that dream herself. She hopes to travel to every destination that she and her dad once planned to see together, and that's why she works so hard to save money. She opens a box and takes out the violin her father gave her. Stepping onto the rooftop, she begins playing a beautiful tune. Well, suddenly, a helicopter flies overhead, startling her and causing her to fall. The helicopter belongs to Mr. Burnish's team, who are searching the entire city for the escaped Yeti. Yi's violin slides across the roof. As she walks over to pick it up, she notices a giant white hand nearby. Terrified, she carefully tries to retrieve her violin using the bow, hoping not to make any noise. But she accidentally plays a note. The sound wakes the Yeti. Startled and scared, the Yeti moves toward Yi, making her panic. Just then, the helicopter returns and flies over the rooftop. The Yeti quickly tries to hide. Seeing how frightened he is, Yi covers him with clothes and curtains to keep him hidden. After the helicopter leaves, Yi spends the entire night sitting nearby, keeping a close eye on the mysterious creature. The next morning, she notices his injured arm and immediately rushes to a pharmacy to buy medicine. Before heading back upstairs, she also packs some homemade dumplings that Nai made. When she returns, she offers the dumplings to the Yeti and treats his wound. Little by little, she begins earning his trust. Yi then spends the whole day building a hidden shelter for him out of the items stored on the roof, creating a safe place where he can stay out of sight. Later, she sits beside him. The Yeti is still nervous, so Yi starts playing her violin. The beautiful melody makes him happy, and something incredible happens. The Yeti begins to glow. His magical powers cause nearby wilted flowers to bloom again. It's a truly beautiful moment. From that point on, Yi and the Yeti become close friends. As Yi says goodnight and prepares to leave, the Yeti stares at a picture of Mount Everest hanging nearby. Curious, Yi asks about his family and where he came from. The Yeti points toward the picture, showing that Everest is his home, and Yi officially gives the Yeti a name, Everest. Meanwhile, Mr. Burnish's team continues searching the entire city for the Yeti. At the same time, Yi's friends Peng and Jean come up to the rooftop looking for her. The moment they see the Yeti, they panic. Jean immediately tries to call the police, but Yi convinces him to hang up before the call goes through. Unfortunately, Dr. Zara hears the Yeti's roar. Since Burnish's team is already tracking every possible lead, they quickly trace the signal and head straight toward Yi's building. Realizing they've been found, Yi tells the Yeti to run. But instead of leaving her behind, the Yeti grabs Yi and takes her along with him as they make their escape. Everest leaps from one building to another while trying to avoid the helicopters. Yi and Everest are doing everything they can to escape. Meanwhile, Jean and Peng think that the Yeti has kidnapped Yi, so they grab their scooters and race after them to save her. Eventually, Yi and Everest reach another rooftop, but Burnish's team surrounds them from every direction. Just when it looks like they have nowhere to go, a city light show begins. Using the distraction, Yi and Everest manage to slip away unnoticed. Yi tells Everest that if he wants to get home safely, he needs to stay hidden on a boat, but Everest has absolutely no idea how to hide. One moment he's hiding behind a drum, the next, he's trying to hide under a piece of cloth. Watching him struggle is both funny and frustrating. Not knowing what else to do, Yi jumps onto the boat with him. Peng and Jean join them as well, determined to help.
You think this is funny?
The story shifts to Mr. Burnish, who is furious that the Yeti has escaped again. Burnish is an extremely wealthy and successful businessman. His goal is to capture the Yeti and prove to the world that Yetis are real. Back on the boat, Jean calls his mother and tells her that they're heading to Beijing on a college trip, and that Yi came along because she wanted to visit some universities. Yi then explains to Peng and Jean that Everest's home is on Mount Everest. Hearing this, Jean tries to convince her that they've already done enough by saving him from the helicopters. He says they should leave him somewhere safe and go back home because reaching Mount Everest on their own is impossible. After all, it's hundreds of miles away. While they're talking, the boat arrives at a harbor. The group hides inside a large soda crate. Soon, the crate is loaded onto a truck and begins moving toward its destination. While riding inside the container, Peng discovers a huge supply of red soda and starts drinking can after can with Everest. Before long, both of them desperately need a bathroom break. They begin shaking the container so much that it falls off the truck and crashes into a forest, leaving everyone stranded in the middle of nowhere. By now, they've been away from home for quite a while, and everyone is starving. Everest focuses on the ground and starts humming softly. His body begins to glow, and his magical powers cause blueberries all around the forest to grow larger and larger. The problem is that Everest is still just a kid. He doesn't fully understand how to control his powers. As a result, the blueberries keep growing until they become enormous and overly ripe. Then they start exploding everywhere. It's a hilarious scene as everyone runs for cover while giant blueberries burst around them, splattering blue juice all over the place. It looks like someone is throwing giant water balloons at them. When night falls, the group decides to camp there and spend the night in the forest. The next morning, Yi plays her violin alongside Everest once again. Hidden nearby, Peng and Jean watch in amazement. Neither of them ever knew that Yi was such a talented violin player. Later, Jean reminds everyone that they need to head toward the Yangtze River. From there, they can catch a boat and return to the city. But Yi refuses. She tells them that they can go home if they want, but she isn't turning back until she gets Everest safely home. The scene then shifts back to Mr. Burnish. Following the clues left behind, his team tracks the group all the way from the harbor and continues searching for Everest. Meanwhile, Yi, Peng, and Everest arrive at the beautiful Yellow Mountain region. The breathtaking scenery gives them a chance to relax for a while, and everyone starts having fun together. Their peaceful moment doesn't last long. Burnish's drones suddenly appear overhead. To save his friends, Everest uses his magic to make a nearby plant grow into a giant vine. The group uses it to launch themselves into the air and escape. Unfortunately, Jean gets left behind. Later, the remaining 3 travelers arrive in a desert. Peng starts missing Jean terribly and becomes sad without him around. Seeing this, Everest cheers him up by introducing him to a group of friendly turtles, helping him feel better. Meanwhile, Dr. Zara manages to gain Jean's trust. She convinces him that the creature traveling with Yi is dangerous and tricks him into revealing their entire plan. After learning everything, Zara takes Jean with her. At the same time, Mr. Burnish shares his personal story with Jean. He explains that when he was young, he once traveled to Mount Everest, where he saw a Yeti for the very first time. But when he tried to approach it, the creature suddenly disappeared. When he returned home, he told everyone about what he had seen. Unfortunately, nobody believed him. People thought he was crazy and refused to accept his story. From that moment on, Burnish became determined to prove that Yetis really existed. He spent his entire life chasing that goal, hoping that one day he could show the world the truth and finally make people believe him. After hearing Burnish's story, Jean goes back to his room, but he can't fall asleep. As he's lying in bed, he suddenly notices a snake and jumps up in fear. He rushes outside, where he overhears Dr. Zara talking to one of her agents. What he hears completely shocks him. Zara is secretly betraying Mr. Burnish. She doesn't care about animals at all. The only reason she wants to capture Everest is for money. Her plan is to sell him for experiments after he's captured. At that moment, the little mouse sitting on Zara's shoulder grabs a set of motorcycle keys. Annoyed, Zara tosses the mouse aside. Jean quickly picks up the keys and takes the mouse with him. He later leaves the mouse with Mr. Burnish because, after hearing Burnish's story, Jean realizes that there is still goodness in his heart. Determined to help his friends, Jean steals the motorcycle and tries to ride after Yi. Unfortunately, he loses control and crashes it into a ravine. With no other choice, he continues the journey on foot. Meanwhile, Yi, Peng, and Everest reach a mountain cliff. In the distance, they spot a train, but it's far away. Using his powers, Everest magically transports all three of them onto the train. The train eventually takes them to a town near the Yellow River. To keep Everest hidden, Yi wraps ropes and vines around him, making him look like a giant bush instead of a Yeti. With his disguise in place, they bring him into town. Yi leaves Everest with Peng while she goes searching for Jean. Unfortunately, some nearby animals pull away part of Everest's disguise, exposing him. At the same time, Burnish's team arrives in town and immediately spots the Yeti. The group starts running for their lives. Just then, Jean suddenly appears on a boat and helps everyone escape. But Burnish's vehicle transforms into a high-speed watercraft and begins chasing them across the river. To fight back, Everest uses his magic to make their old broken-down boat move at incredible speed. The boat races into a large field, and Burnish's vehicle flips over and gets stuck. But Everest doesn't stop there. Using his powers, he transforms the entire field into something that behaves like water. Their boat continues sailing across it, while giant waves ripple through the grass. The magical scene looks absolutely incredible. Although they manage to escape, Yi's violin gets broken during the chaos. She is devastated because it was the last gift her father ever gave her. Jean comforts her and encourages her not to give up. A moment later, Everest walks over. Using some of his magical fur, he repairs the broken violin strings and hands the instrument back to Yi. Overjoyed, Yi hugs him tightly. At that moment, she realizes something amazing. Every place they have visited on this journey is one of the destinations her father always dreamed of taking her to. Thanks to Everest, she has been fulfilling her father's dream the entire time. From there, the group travels to the legendary Buddha statue. Surrounded by mist and clouds, the location is breathtakingly beautiful. Even so, Yi feels sad because her father isn't there to share the moment with her. Everest points toward her violin. Yi understands immediately. As long as she has the violin, a part of her father will always be with her. She begins playing once again. The magic inside Everest's fur responds to the music, causing flowers to bloom everywhere around them. It's one of the most beautiful moments in the entire story. The adventure continues, and eventually the group finally reaches the base of Mount Everest. Home is now within sight. Only one bridge stands between Everest and his family. As they reach the middle of the bridge, Burnish's team suddenly appears and traps them from both sides. Seeing his friends in danger, Everest climbs to the top of a nearby pole and unleashes a massive thunder attack, using his magical powers. Watching this, Burnish becomes deeply moved. He remembers what happened years ago when he tried to capture a Yeti. Back then, Everest's parents sacrificed themselves to protect their child before disappearing. For the first time, Burnish realizes the truth. The Yetis were never monsters. They were simply a family trying to protect their child. Burnish finally understands that Everest is risking everything to save his friends, so he orders everyone to stand down and let the Yeti go. But Dr. Zara has no intention of letting that happen. She knocks Burnish unconscious and takes control of the operation. Then she orders her team to attack. Everest is hit with so many tranquilizer injections that he eventually collapses. Zara locks him inside a cage and starts hurting him to make sure he can't escape again. Seeing this, Yi rushes forward and fights back against Zara in an attempt to save Everest. But Zara shoves her off the bridge. She then captures the others and takes them away. Of course, Yi isn't finished yet. As she falls, she manages to grab onto a rope and saves herself. Climbing back onto the bridge, she pulls out her violin and begins playing. The powerful melody reaches Everest. Slowly, he wakes up. Fueled by the music and his bond with Yi, Everest smashes through the cage and breaks free. He unleashes his magic, creating enormous ice crystals all around the bridge and trapping Zara's forces in place. With the path finally clear, Yi, Peng, Jean, and Everest make their escape. But Dr. Zara refuses to give up and makes one final attempt to capture Everest. Before she can reach him, Everest disappears into the ice. His magic causes part of the glacier to break apart, sending Zara's vehicle crashing down the mountainside. With the danger finally over, Mr. Burnish offers to take all the kids back home. However, Yi reminds him that she made a promise to Everest. She promised she would get him home safely, and that promise still hasn't been fulfilled. Just then, Everest uses his magical powers one last time. He transforms a giant cloud into the shape of a fish and invites everyone aboard. The magical cloudfish carries them high into the mountains and toward Everest's home. At last, Everest finally arrives where he belongs. Waiting for him are his parents and the rest of his family. To everyone's surprise, the Yetis are absolutely enormous. Yi, Peng, and Jean can hardly believe what they're seeing. Knowing it's time to say goodbye, the three friends give Everest one final hug. It's an emotional moment because they know their adventure together has come to an end. After saying farewell, Everest happily reunites with his parents and returns home. Meanwhile, Yi Peng and Jean head back to the city with Mr. Burnish. Back home, life slowly returns to normal, but Yi is no longer the same person she was at the beginning of the story. Instead of constantly working and isolating herself, she starts spending more time with her mother and Nai Nai. She reconnects with her family, enjoys time with her friends, and begins living the happy life she had been missing for so long. Most importantly, she finally learns that some dreams are not just about reaching a destination, they're about the people who share the journey with you.